Yeah. What's up, everybody? What's up, Hot Sauce Gang? Master Boris on the Twitch stream. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot of things to talk about today. We got a lot. Yeah. How y'all doing tonight? I'm your host, Master Boris. Welcome to the stream. You know, hit that follow button if you want to join the Hot Sauce Gang. Because we lit over here. That's why. Alright. So, P. So, I mean, let's just get down to the chase. I ain't do no music. I ain't starting no music or nothing like that. we're just gonna get right into this. I don't know about this podcast, and the reason why I name it I don't know about this podcast is because I don't know if I want to do this consistently. That's why I name it I don't know about this podcast. But yeah, so Microsoft got a lot of bags. I see they got a lot of bags. They acquired Activision and Blizzard. You know what I'm saying? They did that. My phone blowing up. They did that. Approximately $7 billion. Microsoft acquired Activision and Blizzard for $70 billion. Sorry. Did I say $7 billion? I meant to say $70 billion. So, here we go. I see a lot of y'all on the interwebs, mostly Twitter, panicking about this. You know? Panicking about Microsoft taking all the gaming companies for themselves. I mean, if you look at the statistics, I mean, Microsoft is only the third largest gaming company by the revenue, behind Tencent and Sony. Okay. Do not panic, guys. Do not panic because they acquired Activision and Blizzard. Maybe it's for the best. But you have to also know this too, that Activision Blizzard themselves went to Microsoft and it was like, yo, I want to sell on company to you. And Microsoft, yeah, of course. Because they all about buy the chip mindset. They all about the buy the chip, buy that championship mindset. They want to buy out the competition because they know they can't win. They know they ain't supposed to be in this video game market. They know they ain't supposed to be in this video game market. The only thing that's staying them afloat is the Xbox Game Pass, which is convenient for me. I got the Game Pass. You know what I'm saying? I play games on the Xbox to try it out, see if I like it, and if I do like it, I'll just buy it on PS5 and the Switch and PC. So Game Pass is very convenient for me, but the con of the Game Pass is some of those games go away and you can't play them anymore. They must have, ran out of the plan, the licensing and all that, and must don't even want it anymore. And that's the kind of you don't really own it. But yeah, Game Pass is convenient. It's convenient for me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's staying Microsoft afloat with the Xbox. $15 a month? You can't beat that with a hickory stick. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I see a lot of y'all panicking, especially you Sony fanboys. Look, for those of y'all don't know, I mean, play what y'all want to play. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. I'm not a fanboy of any Sony. I don't know if y'all got that got that misconstrued about me, how I talk on Twitter. It's just that there are games that I find interesting is from Sony PlayStation 5. That's all. It's just games over there I find more interesting, and I play it on that. That's really my main system. Then Nintendo Switch, then the Xbox Series X, right over here, as you can see. PS5 right here. Switch is right underneath my shelf. But yeah, we got a lot of things to talk about. Not just that, but the market itself. Sony took a hit after this acquisition that Microsoft did. They lost 20% and they lost a lot of money. Now, here's why I check Sony. Because Sony ain't perfect either. They don't know what they're doing. I'm telling y'all right now, Jim Ryan and Kenichiro Yoshida is on borrowed time. Those guys are on borrowed time. And they're going to mess around and completely devalue Sony PlayStation because of their acts. It's going to come back to haunt them. If this ain't a wake-up call of what Microsoft did yesterday, I don't know what is, Sony. You got to put things in order. You got to get back your Japanese pride, and you got to move back to Japan and put the main headquarters there. Why are you still in California right beside Microsoft? Why? What's the point? You need to go ahead and do what you do best. Get the exclusive, get the games, make new IPs, and better the IPs that you bought. Because Microsoft ain't gonna do that with their companies that they bought. They just want to buy them out. And we all know that Activision is gonna keep making games like Call of Duty and all that, and Blizzard. We got Overwatch 2 coming out really soon, and they removed the guy. Was the ringleader of the sexual misconduct, Bobby Kotick, I think. They paid him off the leave. And I think that was mainly the plan for Microsoft. Like, let us take over Activision Blizzard, and we gonna do it. So, Activision is a major developing company. It's a major publisher. So, it ain't gonna down my mind, when the fine print dries up and finalized by 2023, that they're going to make games exclusively to the Xbox, just like Bethesda is. So, Call of Duty promotions and all the other games that comes with Activision Blizzard around that time is going to be Xbox exclusive and PC. There's nothing to worry about. I don't know why y'all panicking for. And let me address this real quick while it's fresh on my mind, because I said this last week about this console war thing. I watched y'all sit before these next gen consoles even came out. Y'all talking about, mainly Xbox fanboys, talking about, oh man, there's no console war. Console wars are stupid, man. Console wars, man, ain't right. We want to be gaming in harmony. We want cross-play. We want to just do things together. But as soon as this buyout happened, we won the console war. They ain't gonna sit there and say they won the console war. I thought it wasn't about the console war. I thought it wasn't about that. You hypocritical cucks. I cannot. See, I knew it was cap. I knew y'all was cap. It's all cap. It's all propaganda. It's all cap, bro. I knew it. It was y'all was BSing. As soon as they got a little something, it's a big purchase. $7 billion. $70 billion. Everybody's like, we want the console war. I thought we wasn't about the console. I thought we was gaming in unity. Hypocrisy much? I thought we was in unity. I thought we. That's why y'all want crossplay, cause y'all know y'all ain't winning. You ain't winning. You ain't winning after this. But here's the thing. I'm gonna go back to Sony. Y'all need to stop relying on y'all clout and legacy and stomp these people to the ground. Quit being comfortable. Yoshida, you on borrowed time. Jim Ryan, y'all on borrowed time. I will be very surprised if y'all still at Sony by this summer. One of y'all is going to get replaced. There's going to be some changes around. I can feel it. But they're going to do it quietly. No one ain't going to know about it until months later. If that happens. But yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, now we in the console war. Right? Console wars is official, man. It's been official since the Atari. You know what I mean? It's been official since then. Console wars is just a competition of the video game market. You always gonna have competition in business. Any type of business in this world, you always gonna have competitions. Because y'all doing almost the similar things to get profit, to get revenue, to get gains, to have means, and to stay afloat. So the console war is essential for the business. So I don't know what y'all talking about. Most of you gamers are dumb. Y'all don't understand the business. Y'all dumb. You understand what I'm saying? You got Microsoft right now buying the chip and not earning the chip and not working what they already have. Now it's probably going to turn into, hey, Sony bought this, Microsoft bought this, Nintendo bought this, But Microsoft want to do it. What y'all really need to worry about is China, Tencent. That's who are buying all the stuff and don't want to do anything with the developers. Don't want to do anything with the video game companies. Y'all know did y'all know that they bought out Grasshopper Manufacturer? The same developer team that worked on No More Heroes. So we might not get No More Heroes at all. Since a Chinese conglomerate bought Grasshopper Manufacturer. But yeah, getting back to Sony. Yoshida, you went so beyond people's backs. You went on other people's backs, the employees' backs, the Tokyo investors' backs, to make a deal with Microsoft, 3-4 years ago? Maybe, 3 years ago? I could be wrong. I stand corrected. And take a picture with the guy, shaking hands with him, and the people that work at Sony, they was panicking. They thought Microsoft bought Sony. You went through everybody's back to make some type of deal with Microsoft, and everybody was panicking. This is where you marked yourself. You probably marked the brand itself and devalued the PlayStation brand by doing that. Nintendo would never do that. Hey, Microsoft tried to buy Nintendo. Nintendo laughed at them. Like, are you serious? You gonna try to buy Nintendo? Microsoft thought they was hot crap. They thought it was hot crap. They thought that was the shiznick. They was feeling themselves when they was trying to buy Nintendo. Nintendo was like, get out of here. Fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Console war is not done, KJ Blue Avenger. It's part of the business. It's part of the business. I'm looking at the chat right now. It's part of the business, man. And when you understand the business, you understand the game. There's levels to this. You will know console war is not dumb. It's not. It's been going on since the 80s, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's just more pronounced. You know, you got cell phone wars too. They're not just more pronounced like it is with video game consoles. Every business has a competition. That's all that is. It's not dumb. I don't know why people keep saying it. It's not dumb at all. It really isn't. But yeah, Sony, y'all need to get it together because it's not looking right. Y'all gonna make more PS4s. Y'all gonna prioritize that and not make more PS5 so people can get them. I'm telling y'all skating on thin ice. If y'all don't do something by the summertime or the next quarter, Microsoft might come and pass y'all this time in this generation, man. If y'all keep messing up. Nintendo always gonna be. See, Nintendo, they mind their own business. They know they're gonna prevail. They know they're gonna prevail. It's Nintendo. Nintendo doesn't have to rely on third-party companies to make them stay afloat. Sony somewhat and Microsoft especially do. Nintendo has first-party titles and original IPs, and they could make new IPs to stay afloat. Sony, I would say somewhat, but Microsoft especially need third-party support to stay afloat. Why you think Microsoft is buying all these developers? I should have been drinking before I started streaming, man, but I'm alright. I'll do it, so. You understand what I'm saying? Come on now. You don't think there's no competition in restaurants that revolves in chicken? Like Popeyes, KFC? You know, Bojangles? You know what I mean? It's a business. But yeah, want to read something to you? I ain't gonna read all of it though. So, let's see. Okay. So, the editor notes that a lawsuit has been filed against Activision Blizzard by California Department of Employment and Housing, which alleged the company has engaged abuse, discrimination, and retaliation against its female employees. Activision Blizzard has denied these allegations. Blah, 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 blah. Following news that Microsoft's acquiring Activision Blizzard, it's reported that the gaming publisher is suspended to remain independent until summer 2023. Like I stated. Surprisingly, the Activision acquisition has dominated headlines since its reveal earlier today, and their stock went up. And January 18, while there were people expecting Microsoft to acquire more developers, no one expected Xbox owner to target Activision Blizzard. The company owns the business franchise. See, that don't really surprise me though. That don't really surprise me. Activision kind of want to go back to the glory days when they was with Xbox when it came out to the Xbox 360. You know, they had that itch to do it. They went to them first. They was like, yo, the CEO or the owner of Activision Blizzard was like, okay, Let's go to them so they can buy us. Including Call of Duty and Overwatch, the most lucrative publisher in the industry, Microsoft's latest large acquisition leaked out just prior to their official press release, but left many wondering about the specifics. While there's still a lot to figure out in terms of future gaming exclusivity, I just told you what's gonna happen. Once the fine print is like dried up, old, in summer 2023, Call of Duty is probably going to be exclusive to Xbox or time exclusive where you're going to have to get it on Xbox first. It's done. It's over. It's finito. I said that when Jeff Keighley posted it on Twitter. It's done. Xbox Game Pass inclusions. Microsoft will have the power to make franchises like Call of Duty exclusive to X. See, I just said that. Of course, just because Microsoft can, it does not mean will, or as doing it so could damage sales and could cause player backlash. Okay, multiple Bethesda games came to Xbox Game Pass, and fans already speculate if the same would happen with Activision Blizzard. Yes, it's gonna happen. I just told you, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It might be time exclusive. Who knows? It might be on PS5, PS5 Pro, or I don't know, Mini Max 5. I don't know when they coming out with. I know Sony's gonna come out with another version of PS5 by that time. I already know. And people, I mean, guys, if you don't have a PS5, you might as well wait for that to come out. You might as well wait. I'm not reading all that emails. Blah 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 blah. Xbox head Phil Spencer is a douche. Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? And also, I want to tell y'all about this, though. If you see me retweet something on Twitter, that does not mean I agree with it. I don't know why people think that. If I don't say anything and I don't put my 2 cents on it, I'm just retweeting it just to look back at what you said and record it and come back to it and reply to what I think. So just because I retweet something doesn't mean I agree to it. Y'all gotta think, guys. Y'all gotta think. Just like that meme right there. Y'all gotta think. And I wish my friend of mine, Antonio C.R. Murray, was in the call with me. Matter of fact, I'm gonna call him. He probably, if he pick up this phone, we about to be here for 2 hours. Because he knows about the business more than I do. Because he be lurking. I'm telling you, if you pick up this phone, it's alright. He probably at work. Yeah. Oh no. See, look. I got Antonio on the phone, guys. Hot Sauce Gang. Hey, say what's up to the people.
You live on the stream right now, huh?
Yeah, I'm doing the pod. I'm podding. Okay. And I'm hot.
Alright.
You know what I'm saying? I just wanted you to give your piece about this whole Microsoft acquisitions of Activision Blizzard.
Well, it's a lot, you know. I said a lot on Twitter. It's ongoing. The facts are now starting to come together. Very interesting, that Wall Street Journal article that came out earlier today.
And I already told Sony to shreds. I already gave my criticism on that. But if you want to add more to it, then go ahead too.
Yeah, it's just that like the Wall Street Journal article, the headline that most in the interactive entertainment medium spectrum, you know, ran with today was that, well, he tried, you know, Bobby Kotick, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was talking about a little bit about that earlier.
Yeah. Yeah, that came from the Wall Street Journal. But the one, ironically, that most ignored was the actual meat and potatoes of the article, which was that, Microsoft, according to the Wall Street Journal, kept putting out statements about Activision since November last year to keep the stock price low.
See, like I've been telling you guys, you have to get people that know stuff more than you do. Mm-hmm. This is how I upgrade myself. See, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it was like, so they kept them at a 45% premium. And so, now it's up to the shareholders whether or not, they want to go through the deal or not, because maybe they feel that, it's too low and, we're worth a lot more. And so, and then, interestingly enough, CNBC, they ran a segment today about it as well, in which this is just yet another example of big tech, walking all over Washington, because, they're saying, well, the reason why we're doing these major acquisitions and mergers and stuff like that, with Disney and Facebook and everything like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
In the bind of the term metaverse,
Right. It's mainly for the metaverse. I was gonna mention that as well.
Yes, that new buzzword is that they're doing it because, the reason why they're doing this now is under the guise that they're telling Washington, hey, we're making everybody's lives better by doing this. And if you stand against us, then, you're just getting in the way of, quote unquote progress, you know what I mean? And so,
what stopping the progress or being in the way?
Right. So, I mean, ultimately, like I said, on Twitter the other day, yesterday.
I told people not to panic about this acquisition. Like, a lot of Sony fanboys are panicking.
Well, I mean, because, first of all, I don't co-sign that term, fanboy, whatever. I mean.
Oh yeah, real quick. Ain't the console war a necessity?
Huh?
Isn't the console war a necessity to the business?
It is. I mean, he who controls.
A lot of people are saying the console war is dumb, and I had to tell somebody on the chat. I said it's not dumb. It's part of the business.
Yeah, I mean, guys like that, aren't even worth time of day. They don't know shit about the business. I mean, that whole the thing about in every business there's competition.
Right. I mean, I said that earlier.
And the thing about it is that these guys are battling for market share.
Right.
At the end of the day,
they want the more percentage.
Right, because the greater your market share is, the greater you dictate the landscape. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean?
And Nintendo still has the highest market share to this day.
Yeah, right, because it still amazes me how in tech you don't hear none of this nonsense. You know what I mean? You don't hear none of this nonsense. In the tech community, Apple goes on stage at WWDC every year and says, okay, here's where we're at with iOS, whatever. Here's where Google's at with Android, whatever. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so, there's hard, red lines, and everybody knows which is which, Like, people choose Samsung because of the freedom of customization. You have that supercomputer in your pocket, whereas like with Apple, it's the ease of use of apps, and usually we get apps first, and it's viewed as a premium, first stop, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so, whereas like in gaming, I mean, really, the reason why people say that shit is because, you know what I mean, they ain't got nothing to talk about. Because they don't know what they're talking about. Mm-hmm. So, they don't know what they're talking about. So, they want to tell other people, hey, stop talking about, you know, shit that I don't know, you know, what this is about. You know what I mean?
Like, again, the console war.
Right. I mean, like, you know, there's always been, because, you know, if, cause, you know, just look at, you know, you go back to the 7th gen, you know, look at, you know, 360. You know, if you look at 360 and how big of the market share they was able to achieve by, you know, paying off, publishers from going exclusive to Sony, you know, from the previous gen, you know, 60.
Yeah, they was doing it. They was doing it on the table. A lot of people don't know that.
Right, and look what happened. You know what I mean? The 7th generation was dominated by shooters. You know, it was dominated by shooters. Why? Because Xbox 360, you know, had big market share, you know, in North America primarily, and, you know, was making inroads into Europe as well. And so for shooters, you know, were real popular because of that.
Oh yeah, I want to hear this from you live.
Well, let me close out on this. And okay. my thing is this: that like if Microsoft had not made the game for Xbox 360, you know, because this ties into what went down yesterday. It's funny, you know, whoever said that, you know, again, really doesn't know shit about the business. You know, it should stop talking. Because the thing about it is, this all goes back to 360. If the Xbox 360 had not sold over 80 million, if the PS3 had been $4.99 one SKU, do you think that this Activision thing today would have been a big deal?
Nope.
No, it would not.
Nope.
It would not. Because why? Because since Microsoft had good market share back in the 7th gen, that upped the value of Activision, that upped the value of Call of Duty, that overall, you know, upped the value of first-person shooters. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, this guy, whoever's in the chat, you know what I mean?
It's not just him, because some people don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that do know, but they're kind of like discrediting it.
Well, I mean, well, because, you know, again, you know what I mean? Because they don't know, you know,
they know what it is. They just denying the fact that's the case.
Right, because, you know, they don't have nothing to offer to.
But there's some people that legitimately don't know the business like that.
No, I mean, you know, and that's the thing about it. You know, that's why we call them casuals. You know, on core gamers. You know, leave the talk to the core gamers that are aspiring to be enthusiasts.
This is important to me because I want to get in this field one day.
Right. I mean, and my thing is, you know, also, even without getting into the field, you know, it's basically, you know, just product knowledge.
Right.
You know, at the end of the day, it's product knowledge. You know what I mean? When I was at retail at Electronics Boutique, you know, for all you young guys, you know, in the chat, you know, back then, you know what I mean, that was what would eventually become, you know, EB Games.
Yeah.
And got first, you know, into GameStop in 2006. But when I worked at Electronics Boutique in the summer of '99, you know, I was the go-to guy, you know what I mean, at the store at the age of 17, you know what I mean? And that, back then, that was when they hired minors. You know, they don't hire minors no more. You have to be 18 plus, you know, to work at, you know, Interactive Entertainment, you know, retail. But the thing about it was, you know, due to the child labor laws, you know what I mean, you can't stay in the store after 10 o'clock and stuff
right,
like that.
Yeah.
And so my thing is that, you know, at the age of 17, you know, I was the most knowledgeable by far person in the store. Why? Because, you know, back then, as I am now, it was all about product knowledge. You know what I mean? You know, when the games come out, you know what I mean? And that matters, you know what I mean? Because, you know, customers, you know, and your peers, you know, your coworkers, they respect that because it makes everybody's day go by faster, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know, going on computer, oh, hey, will it come out? Oh, hey, man, when does, you know, Final Fantasy VIII come out? Oh,
that's GameStop right there today. Right. That's how it is.
Yeah,
I knew a guy that was like how you was doing in EB Games, even Funko Land.
Right.
I had a Funko Land. A lot of people, I don't know if y'all had a Funko Land back then, but yeah, I had Funko Land EB Games to go to, and these guys were knowledgeable when games coming out.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that was part of the culture of Funko Land, you know.
Yeah.
And the thing about it was, you know, person walking into the store and say, hey, you know, does anybody here know when Final Fantasy VIII comes out?
Oh yeah, and also even
I would tell him, like, it comes out, September 8th, 1999. You know what I mean? Which came out before the launch of Dreamcast here, in America. So that's what it is. But again, going back to the main topic, that's how it ties into Activision Blizzard, in which they would be nowhere near as valuable today. It's funny. It's ironic because, really the telling story of all this is that the specter of PS3, still is ongoing within Sony.
Mm-hmm.
And they could have completely solved this with PS4.
Yeah.
Because with PS4, they put such a beat down on Microsoft, and they didn't go for the killing blow.
Yeah. They just let them sit there.
Right. They should have, been at E3 touting numbers. You know what I mean? Where, we're this high, and they're, this not. You know what I mean? We're hot and we're not. You know what I mean? This is how much where we're at. This is where they're at. Oh, why they not posting sales numbers anymore? You know what I mean? You have to.
Oh, they're gonna post it more since Microsoft got this Activision Blizzard. They're gonna post them sales more now.
Yeah, I mean, because look at how one of the
that was too embarrassed to post sales. The past 2 years. Oh, they gonna post it now.
I mean, look at how the CFO of Sony Corporation, when he said, we'll see it in the sales. Look how many people took offense to when he said that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because he comes from a different, part of the spectrum. You know what I mean? Which is the tech spectrum.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, since 1990, and that's how we talk. You know what I mean? Hard line, no BS. It is what it is.
There's nuance to it.
Right, yeah. It was like, okay, like when it comes to PS5, you say, yeah, we'll see when it comes to sales. You know what I mean? And a lot of people were offended by that. And the thing about it, and the thing about it at PlayStation, it's like, they played nice with Xbox last generation. I mean, this goes back to... Yeah,
I brought up the fact that Yoshida went to Sony's employees' backs to do a deal with Microsoft. I said that earlier.
Yeah, I mean, right, that guy, Kenichiro Yoshida, for those in the chat, he's CEO of Sony Corporation. He was the guy who succeeded.
I have that picture too. I can't find it,
and
I can't find it right now. But I know you reposted it. Right, as a matter of fact, hold on, I'm gonna find it right now. Go ahead and say what you were saying.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'll say it to you right now. I got it. I got it right here.
I'm gonna look for it right now.
All right. Yeah.
Where is it at? Oh yeah, guys, I'm gonna talk about that G4 thing in a minute. I'm gonna talk about the G4 thing in a minute.
Yeah, but while you look for that, continue forward. It just goes back. Go back to Sony's failure to finish with a killing blow. Yeah, I mean they're not who they once was. You know what I mean? If this was a Sony computer entertainment, not Sony interactive entertainment, this Sony computer entertainment, man, they would have finished.
You see this picture, y'all? You see this picture? That's Yoshida right here.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying earlier about the deal he did behind Sony's back, employees' back, with Microsoft, and people thought from Sony they thought Microsoft bought Sony. They was that scared.
Right. I mean, like what you're talking about, Chad, is within Sony headquarters. I'm talking about people were scrambling.
Yeah.
Trying to put them down.
Even investors.
What's going on? And this guy right here, it's funny, man. I mean, he is by far the worst CEO in Sony Corporation history. Easily. I mean, because it's just
he's on borrowed time, guy.
Right. I mean,
him and Jim Ryan, they on borrowed time.
Well, with him, he may last a little bit longer because he's trying to get into electric, vehicles and stuff like that. But Jim Ryan, I don't see Jim Ryan being there much longer because
I'll be surprised he's still there by the summer.
Yeah, I mean, because April is starting a new fiscal year, and they're gonna have to make some changes because this cannot continue. You know what I mean? It's like these guys were just coasting off the brand, not innovating, not expanding. They're contracting. You know what I mean? I mean, Nintendo as well. Contracting. You know what I mean? I mean, expanding in other ways, but contracting. You know what I mean? And
I would like to also get a shout out. I didn't mean to cut you off. NJJE and ICM Hard. Thank you for the follow, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like with Kenichiro Yoshida, it's like when he said consoles are a niche market.
That's where he messed up at.
Yeah, I mean that's where he messed up at, and look what happened. He's the exact opposite of his predecessor, Kazuo Hirai.
Yeah.
Kazuo Hirai, the PlayStation 4 was ultimately his story. You know what I mean? Because Kazuo Hirai, you know what I mean? As him, Kazuo Hirai. You know what I mean? From back then, you know what I mean? PS2, PS3, Jet Li Rise to Honor,
Oh, that was my game right there.
You know what I mean?
That's him. And this guy smiling like, oh yeah, we got y'all asses down. This guy right here from Microsoft, you like, oh snap, we got it.
Yeah, man. Basically overall, he got, they got played into America's hands. You know what I mean? They moved here in 2016, specifically to avoid this from happening. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, real quick. What was their original business model, Microsoft for Xbox? I forgot. You remember by heart? You know what I'm talking about? It was something about kill the market. It had something to do with to that effect.
Yeah. It was for Microsoft. Oh yeah. So it's the 3 E's. So this was discovered by the FBI in 1997 when the U.S. government sued Microsoft for antitrust. Because at the time, Microsoft was, there's always been a rule in which, basically, if your company's, here in the United States, there's actually a limit to the American dream. And that's, $500 billion. If your company's worth $500 billion, then, the boys over in Washington going to want to come see you in the morning, you know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what it is. And Microsoft, at that time, back then in the mid-90s, by 1997, they were worth $600 billion. And the reason why Microsoft was never broken up was because of the Bush administration.
Yeah.
When George
Bush needed him.
Yeah, when George W. Bush came in, he basically, struck it off. And Microsoft was ruled to be broken up, into I think 5 different companies. And but that changed when George W. Bush became president, and he allowed Microsoft to stay as a whole. And so that's basically what that was. But my thing was so there's the 3 E's, and Microsoft has a practice in which it is basically what is it? It is what's the 3 E's? The 3 E's are
I forgot. I totally forgot.
I'm trying to remember the first E, but the second E is hold on, let me see here. I got it right here. Because for some reason I always
I forgot it. It's been a minute.
I got it right here. Oh crap. Yeah. Go on.
So what now?
Yeah, hold on, I got it right here.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, right here. So, because this is what they try to do. This is what they try to do with the there you go, I got it right here. So basically it's a 3 triple E. So the triple E is a strategy that Microsoft used against its competitors throughout, its time, and this was uncovered by the FBI during the antitrust lawsuit. And the 3 E's is embrace, extend, and extinguish.
It was something extinguished, disappearing, like
right,
it's something
right. So basically,
I totally forgot. Yeah,
right.
I remember.
So the way, because I always, for some reason, at times I forget the embrace part because,
Yeah, that's the first one I forget too. The most is embrace.
It's always the polar opposite of what Microsoft actually is, but
I mean, the reason why I asked you to say that is because I want people to know right now that it's coming in full circle.
Right. Well, the thing is, okay. So here's what it is. So for those in the chat, I mean, so the thing is, Microsoft's strategy, embrace, extend, extinguish, is that when they try to go into another market, this is their playbook.
Yep.
They want to embrace. First, they start with embrace. Oh, we love what you're doing. You know what I mean? And here's what we think. We just want to be a part. Of what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Listen, guys.
And that was the way. That was the original Xbox. You know what I mean? Was okay. Well, we love what you're doing. We love games.
No, they don't.
Quote unquote love Japan. You know what I mean?
No, they don't.
And all this, yeah, right.
It's all cap. It's all cap. I keep telling y'all it's all cap.
You know what I mean? This is all cap. You know what I mean? They capping the entire time. You know what I mean? Because they've done this with Netscape, Navigator back then. You know what I mean? Corel, with WordPerfect. You know what I mean? Versus their cheap knockoff, Microsoft Office. You know what I mean? At the time, you know what I mean? In which basically it's like, oh, we love what you're doing, you know what I mean? We embrace the market, you know what I mean? But here's what we can do to make it a little bit better, you know what I mean? And so with Xbox, it was Xbox Live, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Broadband connectivity.
I'm not gonna lie, online was cold with the 360 days. I ain't gonna cap.
Well, I'm just going back to the original Xbox.
Right.
The original Xbox is, basically they wanted it, they wanted to, pass as a company that embraced the market, and here's how it could be different compared to Sony, Nintendo.
It's pretty much a simulation.
Right. And so then Extend was what they did with 360.
Yeah.
And with Extend is which we laid out the online functionality, okay. And we're going to extend that, compared to the competition, by throwing money. And so also part of that extension
by the chip
was using, their war chest, you know what I mean, to break contracts, you know what I mean, with publishers, you know what I mean, to break exclusive contracts,
by the chip.
Right. And so by the chip, you know what I mean? So
that's the title of this podcast, by the chip.
Sure. Right, you know what I mean? And so, and
Ted DiBiase of the gaming industry, dog.
Right, it's like, and going with the Xbox 360, the most notable was Final Fantasy 13, you know what I mean?
Oh man, don't get me started on that, man. Square Enix is still mad at Microsoft about that, guys.
I mean, so the rumor has it is that Microsoft paid Square Enix $100 million to break the exclusivity contract with Sony.
Yeah.
The mainline Final Fantasy.
No, that's true.
And the funny thing about it, they did that solely because this is how bold they were back, even at the time compared to now, because right now they're very passive, right? You know what I mean? But back then
they're passive aggressive.
Like everybody was aggressive, you know what I mean? And they said, John Shane Kim before they fired him, you know what I mean? later on at Microsoft. He said that the reason why they did that was so that Japan could no longer ignore 360. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, so there's always been examples of Microsoft buying their way to the top. The reason why with the original Xbox you didn't see that was because they was in their embrace, phase. You know what I mean? Oh, they didn't want to use their money to embrace the market. You know what I mean? They lost $4 billion on the original Xbox. They didn't turn a profit at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? But they were out to, quote unquote, make a name for themselves. And so Xbox 360, and I see,
they took a risk.
Right. And so I see, I see dudes, in the FGC, being goofy, like Carl, Perfect Legend, saying that, Microsoft needs to buy all fighting games. I mean,
I'm gonna make a disclaimer about that because I said that on Twitter too. I saw that Microsoft does not care about fighting games, bro. The culture is going.
But then also, man, them dudes were stuck in 2006. You know what I mean? Like
2009.
DOA Master and everything. Them dudes are stuck in 2006. I'm like, hey, man, Microsoft don't give a damn about no Dead or Alive or no Tecmo. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny, man, because, I would tell him, if he's in the chat or whatever, that I'm like, when they had that Xbox 20th anniversary video that was, amusingly hosted by Reggie Fils-Aimé, there was no mention at all whatsoever of Tecmo, Dead or Alive, or Itagaki. And everybody at that time knew that it was Dead or Alive.
Why are people giving Koei Tecmo like the back burner like that, man? Koei Tecmo don't deserve that.
Right. I mean, but there was the
one of my favorite gaming developing companies too.
Right. It was like, it was Tecmo, it was Dead or Alive that gave the Xbox credibility on a global scale.
Right.
You know what I mean? It gave them credibility on a world scale. You know what I mean? The best graphics. You know what I mean? Presentation, the fighting, the speed. You know what I mean? Just the overall package.
And that backs up my argument that Xbox does not care about fighting games. If they did, we would have a next gen sequel of Killer Instinct by now.
I mean, come on, man. Back in 2013, when
I don't know why he said that, and why people thinking that.
Come on, man. Back then with Killer Instinct on Xbox One. At that time, Microsoft made $1 million every 18 seconds. They could have easily hosted a tournament for Killer Instinct, at $1 million. But
I was going to get to that too. I'm glad you brought that up. I was definitely going to get into that. Microsoft does not care about fighting games. I saw 21 games at Game Awards this past of none but first-person shooters that involves with zombies, vampires, and all that other stuff, and most of it is going to be on Xbox. I ain't seen not one fighting game on Xbox.
They don't care about no fighting games. You know what I mean? So
I don't know why PL said that.
Well,
I even told him.
They're stuck in 2006, man. They need to update themselves. You know what I mean?
Right.
They need to up themselves.
I was like, you making a big mistake saying that. You don't want that smoke. You like if they buy all that, it'll never get done.
I'm like, come on, buddy. You know what I mean? At least try to update yourself to at least 2007 when they got Tekken 6 on Xbox because Don Matrick didn't felt that Dead or Alive was good enough.
I was kind of like what? Tekken 6 on Xbox? That don't even sound right.
I mean, that was just my bad. But Tokyo Game Show 2008. So Tokyo Game Show 2008 was when that deal.
You know what I'm saying? Even Final Fantasy when it was on in Ridge Racer, I'm like,
like overall, let's get back to the main topic with Activision Blizzard. I mean, the thing is that this is a wake up call.
They've been buying the chip for all these years, man. Right. We just giving you an overview.
Yeah, there's a wake up call to Sony, but more importantly, Japan.
Yeah.
And
I said earlier, they need to move back to the main headquarters.
Yeah, they just need to, they need to pack it up, close shop, go back to Japan because the move was an absolute failure. You know what I mean? Like, Nintendo maintained a 30-month win streak here in North America from Kyoto, Japan. They didn't have to move over here to do that.
Nope.
You moved over here to Sony, on the other hand, moved here to America, allowed, them boys to come into your building and change your culture to a detriment, anti-Japan.
And devaluing the brand, like I said earlier.
Devaluing the brand, and, anti-diversity, It's funny how those, white far-left liberals, preach diversity, but if you look at, PlayStation, first-party lineup, they're less diverse than ever before. You know what I mean? How does that work? You know what I mean? Where are your first shooters at? You know what I mean? Where are your, where's your destruction racing? You know what I mean? Come on, man. You know what I mean? Where's your music games? You know what I mean? Where's SingStar? You know what I mean? Where's Parappa? You know what I mean? These franchises that you should have kept, And, at the end of the day, it's funny because this all goes back to what, that guy, from Ace Research over in Japan, some would say he's the counterpart of that clown, Michael Pachter, but actually, does his job, by the name of Hideki Yasuda, in which he said that, Sony will regret ignoring Japan.
Right, they are right now. They lost 20% on stock.
Right now's the time. Right now is what's happening. I mean, the game done changed after yesterday. You know what I mean? And the thing about it is, Sony looks foolish.
This should be a wake-up call.
Right, they lost, because their stocks fell 12.8%.
I thought it was 20.
No. That was it was 12.8% at the Tokyo Stock Exchange, which translates to $20 billion in market value.
Okay.
So they lost $20 billion.
That's why I got confused. Okay, $20 billion.
$20 billion in market value. Now that can go up tomorrow or something like that. You know what I mean? So basically, what that means is that if you were planning on, selling your stocks yesterday, it was a very bad time. You know what I mean? Whereas, later on,
I didn't have it on me.
Right? It's like if it goes back up, which it will go back up, again. You know what I mean? Then you can cash out, at your preferred, premium. So
I'm mostly at crypto now. I need to get back to them gaming stock.
Yeah, I mean, so they lost $20 billion in market value. So it's funny, man. This clown, Yoshida, talks about how consoles are a niche market, and and that was why he made a deal with Microsoft and everything like that. And he just thought that he was one of those dudes in Japan.
This guy on the left said that in the picture. This guy on the left.
Yeah, I mean, the reason
this
why
dude right here said that.
Right, the reason why he said that is because, he's very short-sighted. I mean, because, he's a terrible CEO, because that statement right there was cause for alarm, because he was only looking at the business from a native Japanese lens, because all around he's just seeing people play, games on their smartphones, and so he figured, okay, consoles, quote unquote, are a niche market. I'm like, you got North America, you got Europe over here, you got emerging territories, over in EMEA.
That's some mayonnaise talking points he just said.
Right. I'm like, why would you say that about your own business? About the fact, especially
I
the
said
fact that it was PlayStation that saved your company from certain peril back in the early, 2010s. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because, it was PlayStation that put your company up to plus 600%, in the black. You know what I mean? It wasn't, your cameras. You had to sell all your stuff. You had to sell your building, and, you had to sell, the Vio brand, you know what I mean, and all this other stuff, you know what I mean? It was PlayStation that kept you going. You go back and you turn like this. But anyway, I mean, my thing is, man, is that, this all came back at him yesterday. So this is poetic justice in the pure sense of the form. This is poetic justice because, you know.
I hope y'all can hear this okay. I didn't even test this Blue Daddy mic, but I hope y'all can hear us okay. But go ahead.
Never in the history of Sony, because there was always a balance. All right, well let's not get it. Let's not get it messed up here. There was always a tug of war, but was balanced. Okay, just for a little history lesson. When PlayStation was green-lighted for production in July of 1993, most people within Sony Corporation did not want to have anything to do.
Yeah, they wasn't feeling it.
Right. As a matter of fact, if you find a launch PlayStation box, it did not have the Sony logo at the front. Really, it was barely visible because a lot of people in the company thought that it was going to fail because at the time, the biggest consumer electronics company in Japan was Matsushita, aka Panasonic. They changed the name to Panasonic, years ago. And when
they had the 3DO.
Right, when the 3DO failed, and then Sony was like, okay, well, wow, the number one failed, then, we're so the Sony logo was barely on the box until 1997 was when you started seeing, PlayStation boxes having the Sony logo, on the front. You know what I mean?
Oh, they was confident then.
Right. It was confident, yeah. And so, basically, tug of war was that PlayStation always believed in what they was doing, but Sony Corporation always treated them, as Jack Tretton has said at E3, the island, and very interestingly, Jack Tretton still stands by that, because him and Reggie Fils-Aimé and Robbie Bach, they was on a podcast, a stream, live stream, celebrating the New York Game Awards, and Tretton, Jack Tretton came out and said that, his worst enemy was actually Sony, and he was the president of Sony Computer Entertainment America at the time, because he was saying that they was more against him than his actual competition. And so, and so. And you
think? Were you trying to say do you think it's like that now?
No. So I'm getting to that. So with when Kazuo Arai, Kazuo Arai, he's most notably known for being, well, not most notably known for, but at a time, he was the president. So basically what happened was Kazuo Arai was the president of Sony Computer Entertainment America. And what happened was that when they fired Ken Kutaragi, the actual father of PlayStation, the guy created PlayStation, they bumped Kazuo Arai over to Sony Computer Entertainment, overall, right? And then Jack Tretton took his, was bumped up to his position at Sony Computer Entertainment, America, right? Yeah. And so then what happened was that when Sir Howard Stringer, white dude, who nearly dragged the entire Sony Corporation, nearly to oblivion, in which, they had a shareholders revolt, in which he was forced out. He was forced to resign. So in 2013, Kazuo Arai, got bumped up from being the overseer of PlayStation overall, Sony Computer Entertainment, up to Sony Corporation.
That was eating good, bro.
Yeah, so Jack Tretton, the Sony Computer Entertainment America president at the time, he was the one who everybody nowadays, who's still in the game, now remembers as the guy that was on stage for, stating that, PlayStation 4 will play used games, right? So that's him.
Yeah.
And,
I remember.
The guy, they call him now, they refer to him now as the mic drop, right? And so, and he went on top, after that was his last E3 2013, He retired on top because he knew he didn't do a very good job. You know what I mean? With PS3, here in North America, and so his counterpart over in Europe, Andrew House, got the top spot at Sony Computer Entertainment over him. Obviously because it was the European territory that kept the PS3, going, and ultimately was the reason why PS3 was able to outsell 360 globally. And so Andrew House, got promoted to the top spot within Sony Computer Entertainment. And, it definitely helped the fact that he was fluent in Japanese as well, you know what I mean? And so under him, Jim Ryan was the guy who took Andrew House's, spot over at. Well, he took his spot because Andrew House got, bumped up to overall, being the guy at Sony Computer Entertainment, whereas Jim Ryan then got bumped up to being the overall guy at Sony Computer Entertainment Europe, right? And so, just to give a timeline of what happened. And so during this time, Kazuo Arai, the guy from North America, who then oversaw all of Sony Computer Entertainment, to then, being the big guy, big homie, as they say, at Sony Corporation.
Right.
He basically, it was him, and, he wasn't really involved, that much in PlayStation, interestingly. But it was funny how at one CES, he said, he talked about, the pillars of Sony. He was like, first, let's get to the games. And I knew right there and then, Boris, that
brought some heat.
That basically PlayStation 4, because that was the first time that PlayStation had the full weight and backing of its entire parent company, which is Sony Corporation. That's never happened before. It's never happened before. So, that's never happened before. So, just go back to, PlayStation 2. At the time, PlayStation accounted for 41% of Sony Corporation, and Ken Kutaragi was denied the top spot and was circumvented by Howard Stringer, now Sir Howard Stringer, because of Spider-Man movies. Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
That's how disrespectful Sony Corporation was towards the PlayStation division, the brand, the entire time.
They didn't really have faith in
that. Right, all that world breaking, that's how disrespectful Sony was, towards PlayStation within. And as stated by,
corporate is a bitch.
So the thing is that Kazurai gave the full backing, and that's why with PlayStation 4 it was a free for all. Andrew House was able to make monumental deals. And the thing about it is, here's one thing was also.
It's like the Spider-Man meme where everybody's pointing at each other.
Right, on a side note, that's why they was able to do Spider-Man PS4, because Kazuo Arai was at his desk.
Funny I say that.
Like, wait a minute, we own the Spider-Man franchise. Let's give it to Insomniac. I've always liked those guys.
And they did a great job.
And that's how Spider-Man came about, because they're like, wait a minute, we own, this intellectual property, so let's use it to our advantage. You know what I mean?
They did a great job with it. I enjoyed it.
Right, that game would have never been possible without Kazuo Arai. You know what I mean? Because Kazuo Arai, being at the top of Sony Corporation, allowed PlayStation to make deals like that. They're like, wait a minute, this is our IP. This is like what would have happened if Sir Howard Stringer had the same outlook on PlayStation as Kazuo Arai did. You know what I mean? Now Sir Howard Stringer he was a huge lover of the PSP. He absolutely loved the PSP. You know what I mean? And so he normally said that I was his favorite, thing at PlayStation was PSP. And so that would have been the equivalent of if Sir Howard Stringer at the time, say in 2008, 2009, would have said, okay, hey, we own Beyonce's masters, we own her contract, let's bring her in to do a sing-star Beyonce. You know what I mean? Or when Michael Jackson was alive, let's do a sing-star Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? And so they did not do that. You know what I mean? So you can only imagine.
Yeah, they could have capitalized on that for real.
Right. You could imagine where PlayStation truly would have been, had Sony Corporation actually gave them full backing. Because I honestly believe that had things like that occurred, PlayStation 2 would have probably been at 180 million.
Hold on, let me stop you right there. Hold that thought. See guys, he basically told you how games come out and how games don't come out. Corporations, it just like, because most of the gamers just know about the result. They don't know how it comes to be or how it doesn't come to be. So he just giving you an example of how this works. Well, yeah, you can go ahead.
So the thing is, that's where Spider-Man came from, and so to get back on the main line, so that's how Spider-Man came about, and that's how those deals were made, because they had the blessing. They had not blessing, but they had the backing. The real backing from the top, So
if you hear that noise, my heater is on, guys. Sorry.
Right, so that's how you're able to make deals like that. That's how you're able to make the platform, flourish and thrive and everything like that.
Right.
And the thing about it, that's really the difference between Sony and Microsoft versus Nintendo. Because Nintendo, they are the whole. You know what I mean? Like the guy. They
still got their Japanese pride too.
Right, and so whereas at the end of the day, Sony and Microsoft, PlayStation, Xbox, they're just divisions of their parent, corporations.
Right, exactly. And, it's not the main thing.
Right, and so we're seeing right now with what's going on with the Activision Blizzard deals from yesterday. That only happened because, ironically, because Microsoft is experiencing now what Sony did last generation when Kazuo Rai was learning the plays. As with Santa Debdelia, the guy on the right, of the picture, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me show y'all a picture again.
Yeah, the guy on the right is the guy. He's a big homie of Microsoft. You know what I mean? And
him right there on the right.
Right. So, unlike his predecessors, Steve Ballmer and Bill Gates, Nadelia has given Phil Spencer Xbox full backing. So that's why they're able to, buy Activision Blizzard for $68.7.
Of course they're gonna do that.
Because they have the full backing of the entire corporation now. You know what I mean? And so
they're about to be into the extinguished part.
Right. So the extinguished, yeah. So the extend was basically them,
This is their extinguished phase.
Right. They're extinguished phase again.
Yeah.
They're trying again because they tried. They thought that Xbox One was going to be their extinguished.
Not even close. Not even close.
They were like, oh man, we beat PlayStation. You know what I mean?
They're saying that now.
Right, and so they're like, oh man, we beat PlayStation. Because they believe the narrative of the American media. You know what I mean? That all that Call of Duty and Gears of War and
you see, I just said a lot of shooters. No sports, no fighting games, just shooters.
Right, and so they felt that, Xbox, quote unquote won, which they didn't, and could the numbers say otherwise. And so
I also mentioned about the what I was saying about the console war thing, and I'm pointing out the hypocrisy because everybody want to be like, oh, let's come together and play with harmony and cross play, and now they're saying, oh, we won the console war today.
Right, yeah, and funny enough, those same guys, they don't want cross play anymore because the PC players are
you think.
Literally, you know what I mean? So they don't want that crossplay. I always thought it was a stupid idea. You know what I mean? It was actually a false narrative that was driven by, Microsoft, and Nintendo, because back in 2018, you know what I mean? Because Sony was making record profits, you know what I mean? So that was where that narrative came from, the crossplay narrative. That whole thing with crossplay was just to weaken, PlayStation Network, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all cap.
It's all cap, you know what I mean? And so the thing is, the Extinguish. So that's Extend. Extend was with Xbox 360. Xbox 360 was Extend. So Xbox was Embrace. Xbox 360 was Extend. Xbox One was supposed to be Extinguished. They thought, oh man, we quote unquote we beat Sony, which they didn't.
No, they didn't. They never won a generation.
They never won a generation. We got to deal with the NFL, you know what I mean? Let's move on into, television and everything like that because, we are that one console, you know what I mean? That's why it's called Xbox One, that one all-in-one entertainment, you know what I mean? And which basically...
And Skype sucks.
Right. They just like, oh yeah, anything you want to do, whether it's video conferencing, sports, cable... watching whatever, you know what I mean?
I watch Netflix most of the time on the thing.
Right, Xbox One, they had grand visions with Xbox One, you know what I mean? Phil Spencer came out and said that, they expected Xbox One to sell 200 million copies. They really believe that.
I laughed. I remember that. I laughed.
I mean, 200 million consoles. I'm like, wait a minute, the population of America is 350 million plus million. And
that's still funny to me.
The thing was, they basically labeled territories based on tiers. You know what I mean? They called Japan.
It's good to be that confident, but sometimes it's really delusion.
Right, it's just delusion. It's not confidence, delusion. Because I mean, the tier 2, they was calling Japan a tier 2 country. During the lead up to the launch of Xbox One, you know what I mean?
Oh,
so, right, yeah.
The disrespect. But they needed Japan to sell them Xbox Series S's.
Right, and so now we're Extinguished again.
Freaking bomb.
So the thing is now we're at Extinguished again, and so Extinguished is we're at Extinguished again. Word Extinguished.
Yeah, they're trying again now.
So they're trying again right now. So now they have the full backing of Microsoft Corporation. They're like, hey, whatever you want, you know what I mean, go get it. We'll pay for it, you know what I mean. And so, so the Wall Street Journal article came today, which stated that basically Microsoft, was talking the most out of all three about the supposed scandal at Activision Blizzard, and it was all because they wanted to keep the stock value low.
Yep.
And so instead of buying Activision Blizzard at $100 billion, they bought them at $68 billion. You know what I mean? So that was basically what that was. And so
nearly $70 billion.
All right. So now, if you go even deeper. What I find very interesting is let's just keep it 1,000. How did the sexual allegations came out publicly in the first place? Who was leaking these stories? Who was driving the narrative? And so yesterday,
good question.
Some people deduced that the guy on the Blizzard side was the guy that was driving this narrative. That guy was none other than Mike Ybarra. Now,
So you trying to tell me he was like an Ambu ninja from Naruto and he was reporting Microsoft everything they did?
Even more. He was the guy who was on stage at E3 2013 at the Xbox press conferencing showing off the television functions for Xbox One.
Oh, so he a op.
He was op.
See? Man, I'm not, man.
He was an op. This guy, this guy got promoted to the top spot at a top position with him on the Blizzard side. And also, these sexual allegation stories started coming out, soon afterwards. He was not. Mike Ybarra, man, former Xbox guy. Oh, come on, man.
Is his last name spelled Ybarra?
Yep.
Yeah, I remember.
Mike Ybarra.
You ho.
It was all cap, man. It was
all cap. So Bobby Kotick pretty much got paid to leave.
Yep. And I doubt and my thing is, I doubt he's even going anywhere.
Yeah, he probably sitting there chilling, having mansion parties like with Puff Daddy and them.
I mean, people are asking, why isn't he gone yet? I mean, well, for one, to be fair, the sale hasn't even gone through yet. I mean, because
it goes through summer 2023, right?
Right. Yeah. So it'll be very interesting to see if it goes through because this is a challenge to U.S. government authority.
I hope y'all learning from this, guys.
Right.
Because I am.
Because if the U.S. government lets this pass, then pretty much big tech is going to be poised to bully, Washington, America, and ultimately the world, from now on. So, I mean, this would be an interesting, take if the U.S. government says, okay, hey, this is enough. We're not going to approve the sale. Go do something else with your time. And
you talking about the sales of the consoles?
No, I'm talking about the Activision Blizzard deal.
Oh.
Right. So,
they're trying to make it like there's no big deal.
Right. But, ultimately, I don't think it's going to pass in the EU market. That's why ultimately why
the U.S. market, yeah, maybe.
The U.S. market, maybe. It has a good chance for it to pass. A lot of people today talk about how the deal's already done, they already own it and stuff no, that's
Nah, it has to be finalized. It takes a minute.
Basically, the story is
it takes a minute.
Microsoft has signed the intent to buy Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion, and that Activision Blizzard has agreed to the deal. So they don't own them yet.
Yeah, the ink ain't dried yet.
Ink ain't dried yet, So they have to go through.
Like I was saying earlier. It's not finalized yet, man. It's gonna get some time.
Ain't over by a long shot. That's why it's gonna take a year. Now, if the U.S. government strikes a deal down, then, man, if that happens, man, let me tell you,
that'd be a huge blow.
If the government says no to a deal, then they need to pack it up. They need to pack it up.
What if that happens? They pretty much did it for nothing.
I mean, because, look, boy, we coming. We coming, you know what I mean?
In a way, I'm glad that Sony is kind of quiet.
Right, because they were blindsided. Because
they're like, okay, we're gonna see how this plays out.
This is well beyond PlayStation. This goes to Sony Corporation.
Yeah, right.
So
the corporate world,
and basically the blow was so huge that it dragged the Tokyo Stock Exchange down.
Yeah, I read that.
So now everybody in Japan is looking at Sony like, congratulations, you played yourself. You know?
Yeah.
But,
that's what I did early. I gave them a freaking talk before, the beginning of this stream.
Right. I mean, it's like they totally bought.
They need to get it together and stomp the competition down to the ground.
Right. I mean, like, they bought into the cap cloud of the American game community, its developers, and its publishers. Now, people in the chat say, now, why do I got to say it like that? Because PlayStation is a global platform, not an American platform.
Right.
Okay? That's the reason why you're getting Grand Theft Auto. It comes from Europe. That's why you're getting, Tales of Arise. It comes from Japan. And that's the reason why you did get Call of Duty, because it came from America. The PlayStation brand, unlike the other two, the reason why PlayStation has been the platform to beat for the past 25 years until yesterday was because it was the platform that by default got the best Japanese and Western games across the board.
Yep.
No matter what territory.
And I said this before, in that time, like, third-party support, it was a plus for them.
It was default.
It was default, but it was a plus.
Right. Nintendo got to make deals with third parties like Nippon Ichi to get the Sky 6 on Switch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, true.
True. Maybe 10 times 5. Bayonetta 3. On PlayStation, they would have got new games by default.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that is true.
Right. You look at Xbox, for example. They had to spend $68.7
buy the chip.
To buy the chip. You know what I mean? to make sure that Call of Duty comes to Game Pass, because Activision Blizzard,
you see why it comes in full circle, guys. I'm telling you would not find this information nowhere.
Was not going to put Call of Duty on Game Pass. They wasn't going to put Call of Duty on Game Pass. Now they have to, because they're going to presumably be owned by Microsoft.
Yeah, so man. Like I was saying about what Jeff Keighley said, I said it's done. It's finito.
Yeah, they have to spend $68.7 billion just to put Call of Duty on Game Pass, because Activision Blizzard would not do it. Now, if Sony had a similar service to that, that would have been automatic.
Speaking of that, we might get it, cause Sony been kind of quiet. They getting a new PlayStation Game Pass or whatnot coming soon, cause PlayStation Now they kind of discontinuing it.
Yeah, supposedly it's called Project Spartacus, is what it's called. It's funny because again, this goes into the fact that they've totally been demented by America, because if you remember back during the PS4, all the code names for all the PlayStation 4 updates were Japanese names.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's Spartacus, Greek mythology, like that. You know what I mean? But that's supposedly the name of Sony's Game Pass killer, as they call it, is Spartacus. You know what I mean? And so
I think they got something more in store, man. That's why they kind of quiet. I mean, hey.
I mean, my biggest
they know they've been duped, right, so they're gonna retaliate.
Right. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody in the chat is wondering, well, what can Sony do to retaliate, against this? My thought is, well, first of all, Sony needs to change culture within. Okay, they need to change culture. They need to realize,
get their pride back.
Right, get the pride back. Say, okay, hey guys, we got played by America. We got played into their hands. You know what I mean? Every time, we're reading the forums. Or
look at that picture, man. Look at the picture. That's where it started.
Yeah.
Look at the picture.
Right. They're reading the forums. You know what I mean?
This is evidence. This is evidence.
They're on reset era all the time, and like that. You know what I mean? And they think that reset era is it's basically what they need to do is, first of all, they need to change the culture. I mean, they need to get rid of that far left, that white, far left liberal garbage out of that culture. Okay? Gaming is for everybody. Okay? Gaming is for everybody.
All right.
You know what I mean? Not for white American liberals. Okay? So, you know what I mean? They need to get rid of that culture. Second, close up shop. You know, keep the building. I mean, the building looks nice. But in the meantime,
make it secondary.
Move the decision making back to Japan. Okay? Third, and very importantly, they need to fire Jim Ryan.
Oh, he's gone.
This guy does not speak any Japanese at all. He has no Japanese principles. He has no skills. Okay? This dude...
I'll be surprised if he's there in July.
This dude is basically Howard Stringer 2.0. That's basically what he is. I've seen this story before. You know what I mean? They hired a white dude to lead the entire corporation, you know what I mean, back in 2007, Sir Howard Stringer. He nearly brought the entire company into the ground because he's in it for himself. He's not in it for the culture. You know what I mean? That sound familiar? Because it is. He's in it for himself. He's not in it for the culture. Okay? When Kazurai got the spot, he was in for the culture. He knows who he is. He knows where he's from. Okay? That's why when he took over, Sony went 600% into the black. PlayStation started posting record profits. Okay? Now this Kenichiro Yoshida, on the other hand, he's the worst.
The current one right now.
In Sony history. The worst one. Okay? He's soft. He's not aggressive. Most of his products are generic. Okay? He's not winning in any sector. Okay?
He doesn't feel like a winner.
He doesn't. Yeah, I mean, you see him how the way he speaks.
Look, does this look like a winner to you? Does this look like a winner to you?
Right. This guy.
Look at him.
You know, you cannot rely. You cannot rely.
The dude on the left, does this look like a winner to you? I'm gonna keep showing this picture.
Yeah, I mean that guy, he's soft. You can't. You know, it's the same story. This over reliance on Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Spider-Man this, Spider-Man that. Come on, man. You know, where are those other movies? You know what I mean? That you can turn to blockbuster. You guys, you know, come on.
Y'all have other IPs y'all can like build too.
Right. I mean, my thing is that they need to change the culture, move back to Japan, fire Jim Ryan, get rid of him. You know, because look, people need the most important thing about yesterday from the Sony side is that PlayStation headquarters in California is an absolute failure. They need to get rid of it.
Yep.
They need to stop. Okay?
Go back to Japan, like I said.
They were in America to avoid stuff like this from happening. And it happened. Okay? It happened twice. You lost Bethesda. Okay? And now you lost Activision Blizzard. What are you going to lose next? EA? Now, if you lose EA, you're pretty much done here in America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's sports.
I mean, they gave away MLB to show.
And FIFA is huge in Europe. You know what I mean? That's why people are flocking to PS4s, you know, PS5s in Europe is due to FIFA.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, obviously,
yeah,
that's
FIFA
what it
is crazy, man. I saw some streams, people playing that. That junk get intense.
Right now, you know, this ain't all of it.
I know.
Because this is where PlayStation is right now. For everybody in chat, this is where PlayStation is right now. You know what I mean? Microsoft right now is trying to eradicate PlayStation from America. Okay? Bethesda, okay, we got all the Western RPGs. Okay? Well, not all the Western RPGs, but all, you know. So with Activision Blizzard, we basically got pretty much all the shooters. Okay, now what are we going to do next? Okay, when it comes to sports, all right, how do we get all the sports? All right, we need to go ahead and try to get EA. Okay? And so that's the whole plan, is to basically buy up all the American publishers.
Buy the chip!
Buying the chip so that, you know what I mean, it can be exclusive on Game Pass. And, you know, ultimately, you know, have everybody, you know, run through them, you know. Now, there's other side to this. Meanwhile, and this is why I say Sony's in huge trouble. Meanwhile, Nintendo has pretty much, right now, eradicated PlayStation from Japan.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
They pretty much eradicated PlayStation from Japan.
Like, even when I go to Amazon Japan, I see more Nintendo stuff than Sony.
So, you ain't got Japan. You ain't got North America. Well, you're not about to have North America. This continues. So your only place is over in Europe. Now, this is familiar.
Mm-hmm.
Because in Europe, that's where, for a while, you know, back then, their mobile devices were, you know, doing very well in Europe. You know what I mean? And so, man, you know what I mean? So they figured that's how. So they figured that's how you hold Sony down. Now, my thing is this: you pay attention to history.
Yep.
This is not the first time this has happened.
Yep.
Because
history might repeat itself.
This is exactly what happened 2 generations ago, the 7th generation. Nintendo held PlayStation down in Japan. Microsoft held PlayStation down here in North America. And they're doing it again.
Yep.
This is why PlayStation is the platform to be. It takes 2 companies, 2, not 1, 2, to hold this brand down on a regional level per basis. On a regional level, because they both know that when PlayStation runs all 3 territories, you ain't doing nothing.
Nah.
You ain't selling nothing, you ain't moving nothing.
Nah.
So that's why Nintendo has been very aggressive in Japan, and that's why Microsoft is being very aggressive now with these buyouts in America. These guys are working in tandem, and I wouldn't be surprised if they're working together. But that's how, I'm just giving to you, you know what I mean, 1,000. I mean, I don't care what nobody says. You know what I mean? I'm just giving to you 1,000.
No, you talk your shit.
And my thing is that this is how you hold Sony down, because that's how they held Sony down before.
Mm-hmm.
But see, before they was able to hold Sony down to 87 million. You know what I mean? The reason why, you know, they couldn't hold them down that much, because, you know, the Wii was so underpowered that all the Japanese third-party, you know, publishers, you know, went, you know, they got offsetted by PSP, you know what I mean, PlayStation Vita, you know what I mean?
And let me add this. Now you understand why console war is important? Now you understand?
Exactly. Now, and the reason why they're important is because in the terms of what games you get,
yep.
there have been so many games that's canceled. Now, for those who still believe that console wars, you know, don't matter because you don't know shit about this business, you know, first of all. That's why we're here to educate you. Because let me tell you something. And this is coming from somebody, me, who's been in this game since 1987. Okay? Let me tell you something. If Sega were still here today, fighting games would be much stronger now.
Man, I had a different topic to go to where it'll be a great time for Sega to come out a home console today.
Because if you go
I was
back,
thinking about that before I started streaming.
Right, if you go back during the Sega Saturn, the top fighting games were on Sega Saturn.
Yeah, it were.
The Sega Saturn was the premier platform for fighting games.
Especially
overall.
Street Fighter Alpha 2 back. Man.
And even more than that. I'm talking
I had X-Men, Children of Atom.
Man, you know what I mean?
Virtua Fighter 2. You know, what you gonna do?
Samurai Showdown 4.
Yeah.
And Dead or Alive, man.
I miss Fighters Mega Mix, man.
Right. The only reason why Dead or Alive went to Xbox because Sega was no longer the business.
Right.
That's why. You know what I mean?
It was probably due to the fact that, because there are some people that believe, probably to this day, that Xbox is the successor of Sega.
No, absolutely not.
People still believe that.
Because at no time.
I'm like, what?
No, at no time did Microsoft ever led in market share at any time. Not only did Xbox never led in market share at any time in their history, they never been profitable at any time in their history.
Like some people still believe that.
That's blasphemy. That is blasphemy. Okay, that's blasphemy. You know what I mean? And that narrative only comes from here in America as well. You know what I mean?
Man, boy.
You know. So I mean, that's what it is. You know what I mean? So you got that, and so you have that going on, and so what Sony needs to do going forward, besides that, now they want to counter with an acquisition. You know what I mean? The perfect company that is a perfect fit for an acquisition is one, because Sony says they want to be dominant in anime, right?
Right.
That's Yoshida's one of his goals. They want to be dominant in anime.
They're gonna have to beat Sega on that department too.
So they want to be dominant in anime. There's one company that could take care of all that, because this company right now is putting out some of the hottest manga. They're putting out some of the hottest anime that's playing right now, winter 2022 season. And they got the classics when it comes to gaming. And that company is none other than Square Enix. Yep.
They better get it. They better get it.
If they get them, they get the anime, they get the manga, and they get the games.
Yep.
See, a lot of people here in America, most people in America will look at Square Enix as,
only Final Fantasy, yeah.
No. Square Enix is huge.
Yeah, they are.
When it comes to manga and anime.
Right.
And so, if Sony gets that, they get a catalog to their manga publishing, and they get the anime by default, and they get the classes as well.
Yeah,
so
man.
that will solve a lot of problems, because number one, by default, that will take
Here we go again with this picture. Somebody talk to this man on the left, or get him out of here.
I'm trying to talk to him now.
Get him to come to his senses, and he realized that they played themselves. Shaking hands with this guy here on the right.
Right. Slime, aka Slime. You know what I mean?
Like, bro, look at that smile. Look at him. He's like, yo, we got you.
I know, man. You know what I mean? Man, look at this sucker right here, man. You know
man.
What I mean? You know what I mean? Yeah,
I'm gonna keep showing that picture.
You talking about cloud services, man? I'm like, man, you guys could have went to IBM.
Yeah.
Because the only reason why you did that deal was because you didn't want to pay, you didn't want to negotiate with Amazon and, Amazon Web Services. And my thing was, instead, you could have went with IBM.
Mm-hmm.
You could have went to IBM. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because if you went to IBM would have worked closer with you. You would have went up, and IBM would have went up. You know what I mean? The problem is nowadays is that the problem with Sony is that nobody there at the top level, let's be fair to everybody there at Sony, you know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure there are people within Sony right now that's in their house or apartment over in Japan right now, man, just, kicking and like, oh my God, I can't believe this, you know what I mean? This this embarrassment for the company that I'm employed with right now, and they got ideas.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the guys, that leadership, they have no vision.
All chief, no Indian.
They have no vision. They have no foresight. You know what I mean? And so that's really what that is. You know what I mean? And so, and man, did you see the picture? They decided to release more screenshots of Horizon Forbidden West.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean?
I seen some of them, not all of them.
Man, the newest ones. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They decided she looks uglier now than she did last year. You know what I mean?
Man, that girl been eating some elephant trunks.
Man, they need to.
Some robotic elephant trunks.
They need to quit, man. I'm like, Jesus, man. You know what I mean? That woman don't look nothing like the actor who she was designed after. Nothing.
Yeah. Ain't ain't she like a model or something? The one they designed her the first time?
She's an actress.
Oh, she's the actress?
Yeah, from the Netherlands. You know what I mean? She's a Dutch actress. Her name is Hannah Hoekstra.
Oh, okay. Hannah Hoekstra.
Right. If you look at her and the alloy model from Horizon, Zero Dawn, she looks very close to Hannah. But this one, she don't look nothing like Hannah at all. You know what I mean?
I don't know what's up with that. I don't know if they ain't paying her. She wanted more money.
Yeah, I want to know. We want to know what's happening with that. You know what I mean? Like, Sony, they some cloud chasers, because if you look at The Last of Us, you know what I mean? Ellie, she looks a lot like Elliot Page. You know what I mean? And Elliot Page, called them out on that. You know what I mean? And the funny thing about it, she was like, "Why is Sony copying me? I'm working." This is like one of the most, she was like, "Why are they copying me? Clearly that's me. I started a game of my own called Beyond Two Souls." Think about that.
What, they didn't even ask her to, use her likeness?
No, think about what she just said. It was like, she clearly looks like me. They need to know that I'm in another game called Beyond Two Souls.
Yeah.
Beyond Two Souls was also a Sony game.
Right.
That just shows how they was all over the place, man. Look, man, they just need to get some guy. They need to get a guy with clear direction, who can get everybody in line. And he needs to get, really, I would like, Kikichi Urata to replace Jim Ryan. The Japanese guy used to be, the head of, Capcom USA here in,
I think that's going to happen. I think that's going to happen.
Yeah, they need to get rid of him,
and he probably gonna be like the main guy that's gonna say Street Fighter 6 is probably gonna be PS5 exclusive.
Classic.
Street Fighter 6 gonna be a PS5 exclusive. He probably gonna get in that seat.
Man, let me tell you something, man. The game done changed now. Everything's on the table. Japan needs to realize, hey man, America's coming to wipe you out. Okay? So, now we don't know where Europe is.
They're in the extinguished part. Microsoft is part in the extinguished part again.
But I think that, if you look at what's Take-Two, how they going to respond.
Oh, no, don't say Take-Two. No, not 2K, NBA, no.
Are they going to respond by siding with Microsoft, or are they going to respond by siding with Sony?
They really want melanated people back on Xbox, because that's all they play. Call of Duty, Madden, 2K, Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, Basic 4. Just like the cereal, you know what I mean?
I'm like, no. See, I can't settle with that. That's why I have a variety. I've always been that way ever since I was in single digits.
Basic four, man. You know what I mean?
You know.
You always call my brother, man. You know what I mean? Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, Madden, 2K.
I'm like, man, no. Nah, man. Microsoft, they try to be slick. They really try to be slick.
You know, and with a side, you know, for dessert, you know, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat for dessert.
Yeah. That's what they're gonna do. You know, that's what they're gonna try to do. But guys, don't panic. Like I said earlier, don't. It's all in there.
My thing is that, like, you know, let's just you know, keep it 1,000 here. Let's you know, face facts. I mean, this is a huge blow to Sony because
it is.
Call of Duty, you know, was PlayStation's #1 game, but it's hard to feel sorry for Sony because they did this to themselves.
Yeah, they did.
On Activision, you know, because word was that they got rid of Zipper Interactive just to cut that deal with Activision.
Wait. Okay, was that developer they made SOCOM, right?
SOCOM. And you remember how huge SOCOM was back during PS2?
Whoa, yeah.
It was bigger than Halo.
Yeah.
Man, every hip hop dude back then, Method Man, thing was all about SOCOM on PS2. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember SOCOM on
come on, man. SOCOM was huge back then, you know what I mean? It was huge. And the thing about it was, so it was bigger than Halo, you know what I mean? Kazurai, you know what I mean? You know, when he was, you know, PlayStation.
See, Antonio chose violence tonight, and I know they're going to chew him up on Twitter. He chose...
I mean, you know, like, you know, when Kazurai, you know what I mean? You know, back when he was president of Entertainment America.
You chose violence tonight, man.
Like, when he was at one of the E3s, he said, blatantly on stage, saying, man, oh man, you know, SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs is the #1 online game, man, in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He had that on his face, you know, because it was. Because, you know what I mean? Look, you know, SOCOM versus Halo, SOCOM, you know, so much greater. You know what I mean?
So true. Like, first off, Sony even made a huge mistake for abandoning Japan studio. Someone said it on chat. Yeah. They did.
Absolutely.
Yeah. They
did.
I mean?
Absolutely. You know what I mean?
They did.
Because the thing about it, because let me answer. Let me not gloss over that. Let me actually, you know, elaborate on, you know, him saying that. Because the thing is, not everything in your catalog, in your body of work, needs to be a pop record. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to have classics. It's like in music. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, everybody is going to go to. Okay, well, if you look at, like, say, like, you know, Drake, Kendrick, you know, J. Cole, Big Sean, you know, the four guys that held it, you know, the Mount Rushmore of the 2010s, right? Some could say, okay, well, instead of, you know, Big Sean, it was Nicki Minaj, you know what I mean? You know, I have no problem people say that, right? But my thing is, the Mount Rushmore of the 2010s of hip-hop, you know what I mean?
I agree.
It's always debated among those four who has classics. You know what I mean? What's Drake's classic album? What's J. Cole's classic album? What's Kendrick Lamar's classic album? What is Big Sean's classic album? And or what's Nicki Minaj's, you know, classic album? You know what I mean? Because the classics are what keep you coming back to the artist.
Yep.
That's what PlayStation is lacking right now, is those classic hits. You know what I mean?
They need to get Ridge Racer back too. Namco Bandai need to tell them, yo.
So to one guy in Japan, what he said about Japan Studio produced games that were classics. Not every game needs to be, you know, a blockbuster hit. You got to have some Oscar hits as well.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You got to have some Oscars, you know, under your belt.
Yep.
Some Golden Globes, some Academy Award, the Grammy. You know what I mean?
And that's why I like the PS1 so much, because they had that passion, you know.
Right. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? You need you know, games that have heart. You know what I mean? You know, not every game needs to be a, you know, bubblegum popcorn filler. You know what I mean? like Last of Us or you know, or God of War, you know what I mean, the one and done. No, you need games in which you're like, man, oh, that experience was amazing. You know what I mean? And then like, you know, maybe a time later, you know, a month, 6 months, a year, a couple years, you're like, man, where's that Gravity, you know, Days, you know, 3? You know what I mean? Oh,
that Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, I kind of felt that way when I beat it yesterday. I just beat it yesterday.
You know what I mean? Yeah, classics. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, but that's what I'm saying, man. You know what I mean? Like, you know, where's the games that, you know, differentiate yourself from everybody else? The experimentals, you know what I mean? The games that take risks. You know what I mean? Where is the, you know...
Hey, keep talking. Hold on for a second.
Yeah. Where are the, you know, Ecos and Shadow Colossus, you know what I mean? When that game came out, when Shadow Colossus came out in 2005, guys, man, every single Japanese publisher and developer in Japan unanimously gave Fumio Ueda that GOAT-like status that year. That was like, oh man, you changed the game, you know what I mean? I want to be like that guy. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just, you know, Hideki.
I heard you in here.
With Miyazaki, you know what I mean? You know, and with, you know, with the Souls, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The game keep you coming back, and that could have been a PlayStation exclusive. But you know that's who, you know what I mean? Shuhei Yoshida, you know, fumbled the ball by refusing classification of Demon Souls outside Japan. And so when it got
wait a minute, who do you say again?
Right, so I'm saying that.
What was his name again?
Shuhei Yoshida.
I was bringing up the picture again. That wrong guy. No, that's false alarm, guys.
Yeah. Shuhei Yoshida. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Shuhei Yoshida.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like the former, you know, president of Sony Worldwide Studios that got demoted, right?
Right.
And you know, and my thing is, man, you know, I give credit where credit's due. If it wasn't for him, his greatest contribution to PlayStation was saving God of War, because when God of War 2018 was, you know, before it came out 2018, back in 2016 when he saw God of War, he looked at that and he was like, "Yo, that shit's garbage. Like, you know, you need to redo that." And so they redid the entire game to what everybody knows is now. Yeah. Now, if it wasn't for Shuhei Yoshida, I'll give him credit where it's due, we would have gotten another God of War Ascension. You know what I mean? And God of War Ascension on record is the worst God of War game ever made. You know what I mean?
Dang. I never played it, so I wouldn't know.
Right. So
I didn't.
So it's funny how...
So they kind of did like a soft reboot on the next PS4 God of War.
Right, because he looked at it, he was like, "Yo, this is garbage." You know what I mean? We can't, you know, do this. You know what I mean? We gotta do this whole thing. And they talk about it in the documentary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, now Herman Holst, I highly doubt he's gonna go to any of those teams and say, "Hey man, you know, like, man, this is garbage, man. I don't know about that one." You know what I mean? Like, you know, so I really don't, you know, I don't see him as... So Shuhei Yoshida, it's funny that he's responsible for arguably Sony's worst blunder, you know, in history as far as first party with Demon Souls. But on the other hand, he redeemed himself, you know what I mean, with God of War. You know what I mean? It's ironic how that worked, you know what I mean? Because Demon Souls, a Japanese title, you know what I mean, he fumbled the ball on that one. But he picked up and ran with it when it came to an American game in God of War. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's kind of funny how that works.
You see that hot sauce game? We are learning a lot. Yeah, man. I know there's a lot more stuff we can like talk about, but I'm about to wrap this up.
Okay.
I will like, cause there's people hitting me up right now, and I gotta charge my phone too. So I'm gonna wrap this up, but hey, that's the nature of the business, man.
Yeah, basically, guys, all it is, Sony's made some leadership changes. They need to put people in there with Japanese principles, aka a winning mentality. You know, just basic do's and don'ts. You know, hey, we need this, we need that. You know what I mean? Just you know, we market this way, we roll out this way. You know what I mean? You know, basically put PlayStation first. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, so instead of, you know, oh man, you know, flocking to PC and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? And that's also an example of playing into America's hands. Is the whole PC, you know, BS. You know what I mean? Because
it's all propaganda.
Right, a lot of these American developers and publishers came from PC. So basically, all that PlayStation's PC thing is just, you know, it's all cap. You know what I mean? It's to drag, you know, the PlayStation platform value down. You know what I mean? So now,
like I said earlier,
right? And so basically, the whole PlayStation PC thing is, well, instead of, you know, wanting to go out and buy a PlayStation, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, you know, it's a put down your mind. You know what I mean? Like, you know, a second guess. You know what I mean? Well, man, I hear that game's coming out of PlayStation, man. You know what I mean? Oh, man, is it going to stay on PlayStation or should I build a PC because it'll come down later down? See, that's the game they play. You see, it's all coming together. It's all coming together. You know, everybody, you know, in the chat, you got to catch up to what's going on right now. It's all come together. This is what America's hands is. It's basically, it's PC, you know, it's all playing to America's hands is that all these moves and narratives, you know, that's a very big thing. The narrative is to drag the PlayStation brand down, okay? Cross-play, you know what I mean? You know, basically drag down, you know, PlayStation Network, you know what I mean? PC, you know, ports, you know what I mean? That's to drag the value, you know, PlayStation down, you know what I mean? So that people don't run out and buy a PS5, you know what I mean? Knowing that's going to be the home exclusively of so this and so.
Yeah,
so
there's
that.
a lot. I know a lot of people that want one. I sold 2 of them.
Right, and so, but my thing is that's the core.
Right.
That's the core. You know what I mean? The thing is the casual, the third year, the 2023 and beyond. You know what I mean? That's when the casuals are starting to get into, you know, the platform. You know
right.
What I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so they only go by the games. They don't know the inner workings of the business, or nor do they care. You know, they're like, okay, I go where the games are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Basically, right.
Shelton said that to an effect. I remember talking to him about it. I think Shelton, he said he just go where the games are.
Right, because you know he's a casual. You know what I mean? I clown for that.
But he's older than all of us, and he should know better.
I mean, well, not really, because you know he's an ex. Well, I mean, I guess you know. that's you know, stuff like that I can't say on the air. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I understand that. We gonna keep that one on the low, man. But hey, I'm glad you explained it, bro.
Okay, right.
Well, yeah. Oh, listen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you still here? I thought you was getting ready to go. Huh?
Okay, man. All right, man. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, yeah, man. Cause I'm about to wrap this up. I gotta charge my phone too. I wish you was on Discord.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
right.
you gotta get Discord, man.
All right.
I'll talk to you later.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
That was my buddy Antonio, ladies and gentlemen. So I hope all y'all learned something today. Because he explained it way better than I could, and then some. Add insult to injury. He chose violence tonight, man. See, I chose violence, but he chose violence more. So I was like, I told you it's gonna be a 2-hour stream. Did I say that? I was like, man, once he goes in on that business, it's OD. It's OD. He knows, man. He looks for the ins and outs of this business, man. And I like people like him, because I'm still learning as times go on, how to navigate through things. But what he was saying about second guessing getting a PS5, it's all a psychological warfare. It's psychological warfare right now with all this stuff that's going on in the world, and especially here in this country. That's just another example. You have to be mindful about yourself, and you have to know. You have to be in tune with yourself in any capacity. at any capacity of what you believe in and what you need to steer away from. You need to be in tune within yourself, know yourself, so you won't get taken advantage of. Have knowledge. Have knowledge. Okay? There's nothing wrong with knowledge. And there's nothing wrong of getting knowledge with other people that might know more than you, that may be older than you, or may be younger than you. You know? So there's that. But yeah, I was gonna get into this G4 meltdown, but I'll do it another time in another podcast. We're pretty much talking about, you know, Microsoft buying the chip, and we just broke it down for you tonight. Hopefully y'all enjoyed that, and I might upload this on YouTube. I don't know when, but if you do see this video, you come across this video, like, comment, share, subscribe. Whenever I do come back on YouTube, I might upload it. So, yeah. One day I might do that. I might do that because this is very important. This is something that you gamers, you consumers need to know. How this business runs and why the games come out the way they do. So what you gonna do when they come after you? Alright, y'all. But yeah, I'm about to wrap this up. I appreciate y'all time for watching this Twitch stream. And I'll see y'all tomorrow. We're going to do continue the KOF retrospective. We are probably 25 days left until KOF 15 come out. I mean, if you pre-order the deluxe edition, you get it 4 days early. So, yeah. Hot sauce game. We putting chicken nuggets with some hot sauce on them combos. But yes, I will see you guys tomorrow. Y'all be safe out there. And blessings. Peace.